So knowing what baby's getting is honestly really reassuring, and I kind of need that in my life. So if I can't do it all the time, I'm not beating myself up about it, but I do want to do the same thing again. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Stephanie. I'm a 27-year-old stay-at-home mom to my 2.5-year-old Maverick, and I'm currently 37 weeks pregnant with baby boy number 2, whose name is Kane. So this is kind of a sequel video to a previous video I recorded where I talked about all of the things that I would like to do differently this time around with a new baby as a now experienced mom. And this video, I'm going to be talking about the things that I would like to do the same. Shout out to Janie, you know who you are. She actually, reading back in her messages, she actually did ask me to do both, and I didn't put them in the same video. But thank you, Janie, for requesting that I do this. I will link in the cards above my video talking about the things that I would like to do differently, and let's just get right into the things that I would like to keep the same and why. So the first thing I would like to do the same this time around is no co-sleeping. I am not against co-sleeping if you do it yourself, but I am against it for me personally, and not even necessarily for safety reasons. I just learned with my firstborn, I did not co-sleep for safety reasons because I am a paranoid freak, and I was afraid of my husband rolling over on him or just like, God forbid, something awful happening, so we never co-slept. And in doing that, the transition from bassinet to crib was literally flawless. There was zero struggle in getting him to sleep in his crib. It was like the greatest thing ever, especially seeing other parents go through what is like so hard transitioning, whether that's from co-sleeping or not. I just know that we didn't co-sleep. He slept in a bassinet next to our bed for the first 8 months of his life, and then slept in his crib from there and never had a problem with it. So I would like to keep that. Another thing I will try to do the same is to attempt a schedule. Now obviously with newborns there's no such thing as a schedule. Some people just get blessed and things happen that way. We were blessed with my firstborn, and by 3 weeks old he was sleeping in 4-hour increments through the night, and it was great, which honestly I don't think had anything to do with me. I think that was just him as a person. I did stay home for the first 3.5 months on maternity leave. I am now a stay-at-home mom. I went back to full-time with him, so it will be a little different this time, probably a little easier, but I just want to start trying to have a schedule off the bat. Now granted, I know it's going to be very different this time because I already have a child, a toddler nonetheless, who he is on a very strict schedule, and we do follow it pretty religiously. He's pretty good at it, but it might get hard with trying to get him on board with now a different schedule with a baby, and you know, who knows? I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is I would like to keep the attempt to learn what baby's kind of internal schedule is and either roll with that if it's working or try to tweak it here and there. Just try to get that going like pretty much off the bat. Another thing I would like to do the same this time around is to make my own baby food. I did mention in my last video what I want to do differently. I'm not going to be so hellbent on like he's never having store-bought baby food, but I did very much like that I knew what he was eating. I also really enjoyed the fact that I made my baby food with fruits and veggies, that I knew where they came from, and I also used my breast milk as kind of like a smoothing it out, water it down type thing. So knowing what baby's getting is honestly really reassuring, and I kind of need that in my life. So if I can't do it all the time, I'm not beating myself up about it, but I do want to do the same thing again and make my own baby food. The next thing I want to keep the same is our TV time. Maverick, when he was itty bitty, we put on movies here and there, and obviously we're going to be doing the same here because we do have a 2-year-old that like isn't going to be forced to be watching Baby Einstein all day. TV time, I try to as much as possible keep educational. We are so lucky in the 21st century to have things like YouTube and whatever else really, and have all of the means to give our children TV time and have it be educational. And I know TV time is controversial, but we have allowed TV time. My 2-year-old is super smart. He knew his ABCs before he was 1.5 years old. He was counting to 10 before he was 2, counting to 20 before he was 2. And not to say that TV time did that, but I do believe that it helped that the TV time that he was getting for the most part during the day was educational. So with that in mind as well, however, I also want to be as involved as I was with my firstborn Maverick with educational TV time. I think one thing that really helped my firstborn to even be interested in the concept of learning and then grasping it so well was because I got involved. I am a big weirdo off camera. You guys have no idea. I'm a big weirdo off camera. And I would just get involved with him when his ABC songs or color songs or number songs came on. I would be out in the living room jamming out and dancing, learning all the words, and getting involved. And I think he enjoyed it more when I was doing that with him. Therefore, he was paying more attention to it. Therefore, he was just kind of retaining it more. And I would like to do the same with Kane, and I think it'll be cool too, because I think that Maverick will get involved as well. The next thing I would like to try to do is make sure that he gets sunshine. The hard thing about this is that my firstborn was born in the middle of July, smack dab in the hottest few weeks of summer. This baby will be born in the wintertime. Granted, we might not be outside as much. I still would like to, when it becomes available, just make sure that he gets out. Make sure he gets some natural vitamin D. It's really good for them. I know there's like this big stigma around how the sun is awful for you, but the sun also has so many benefits, and in having windows of time of just direct sunshine is going to benefit their all-around health and even their mental health. Vitamin D is really good for everybody. So I want to make sure that he gets sunshine. I know with Maverick, like I said, he was born in the summer, and I used to put him out in his little bassinet stroller with just a onesie and let the sun just shine. I would walk up and down the road for like 20 minutes. I think it did a lot of good for both of us, really. Another thing I would like to do, and this is definitely more so for as he gets older, maybe not so much as a newborn, but considering all I have to compare to is up to a 2.5-year-old, that's kind of what I'm going based off of. So another thing I would like to do is instill manners. One thing, even before Maverick was speaking, I always told him, reminded him that when he asked for something, to ask nicely, to say please, to say thank you, to say excuse me. And at this point in life now, he's a very verbal child. He will say please, thank you, and excuse me without even being asked to do so, knowing when to. And I think that is awesome. It's something I'm really proud of, and I would very much like for Kane and possible future kids to follow through with as well. Even if I know he can't say it, I'm going to constantly remind him of when and how to say things. That way, when he does start saying them, he'll know when it is appropriate to do so. Okay, another thing that kind of goes with him getting a little bit older is just to be strict about cleanliness. So one thing that I have done with my firstborn for a long time now, and granted when they're younger they don't really get it so much, or maybe they do, all kids are different, but I want to say just before he turned 2, he started to grasp when it was time to clean up. I've always tried to make it a point as he got older to, before nap time, we clean up together. Before bedtime, we clean up together. You know, all toys that are organized. If he's playing with his music stuff and now he wants to play with cars, well, now we have to put away the music stuff before we play with the cars. And he, at this point, he's 2, so he obviously tries to disobey me at times, but for the most part, even just asking on the first try, or asking him nicely a second or third time, or just reminding him even sternly a third or fourth time, he will stop what he's doing and help me clean up before naps in bed and before taking other toys out. So again, I think that has a lot to do with manners and kind of etiquette as well. So I want to keep that along with my future kids, just make sure that's really instilled in their mind that it's something that's important, it's something that they need to do. So the last thing I would like to keep that I could think of, the last thing that I would like to do the same at this time around, is to encourage falling. I have seen so many parents, and this is no shade at all, but it's just something that I couldn't get myself to do. I've seen so many parents that like refuse to let their kids pull up on something, or granted if it has to do with like their safety, but if they're just gonna fall back on their butt, I always encouraged Maverick to fall and get back up. He was walking by the time he was 10 months old. I have footage, I can insert it here. I actually, you know what, I will. He was 10 months old when he took his first steps and basically ran from one end of the house to the other and didn't stop. Come here. Babe, 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 babe. Oh my God! Look at you go! Yay! And that was his very first steps. And I really do think a lot of that had to do with the fact that like I never encouraged him to get off of there and sit down, and I encouraged him to get up and fall and get back up when he fell. That's something that I just want to do as well with this baby, not only for the sake of him walking down quicker, but just for the sake of honestly just a life lesson as well. If you fall, you get back up, and it's okay to fall, and it's okay to, you know, it's how they learn. So I don't want to keep him from learning how to fall and how to get back up. I feel like there's probably so many more things. I'm obviously not perfect, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I am really, really pleased with the little person that my firstborn is becoming. And there's probably more that I could sit and think about, like specific things that I would like to do the same. But generally, that is those are kind of the main points that I want to make sure that I hit with Kane now and possible future kids, is just to carry those things out as well, because they did work really well for us the first time around. Obviously, every kid is different. What worked for Maverick might not work for Kane, but being that all of this did, it's just things that I still would like to attempt, and obviously I will learn as I go what works for him as well, and we'll have to alter things and tweak things here and there, and that's fine. But these are all things I like to keep the same. So go ahead and leave me some comments what you guys kept throughout your parenting with subsequent children, and if it worked or if it didn't. Did you have to tweak things here and there? Did you have that one problem child that didn't matter what you did? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's get to know each other. And if you are new, go ahead and please hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you, and you would be jumping on board at the perfect time because we are about to start a brand new journey, and I would love for you guys to come along and meet baby Kane with all of us. Which, by the way, thank you everybody who has been joining our little family here on a daily basis. I feel like I've been getting at least like between like 3 and 5 subscribers a day, which might not seem like a lot, but it's cool, and I think it's awesome just to see, you know, our YouTube family expanding, and I really do appreciate it. So hello and welcome, and I hope you guys stick around. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and hit that notification bell, and you'll be reminded every time I post a video. As always, I hope you're all enjoying your day, night, afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are, and I'll see you guys very soon in my next one. Bye.